Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial back in the series of Minecraft Building Basics. And today we're going to be looking at, guess what, roofs. So we're going to be showing you how today you can improve your roof designs by a few simple steps. So let's go. So we're going to start off by looking at different types of roofs you can do. So you've got 4 different types here that I've picked out. So we're going to start with very simple, very flat roof. So this is made using sets of slabs, and these of course add up to make sort of one block in each bit, but it's always going up by one each time. We can also see the pillars sticking out slightly like this. That's because that's the only way we could do it to make this look perfect. But if you wanted to, you could raise these slabs up a bit. Now, I'm not saying this is the structure of the rest of your build. This is a simplified version where I'm just showing how the roof fits onto an already existing wall. And of course, this is way too small for an actual build. So this is just an example of what you can do. So then we have the classic roof I think pretty much everyone does when they start, which is using stairs. So this is very simple. It's just like normal. You're just having a load of stairs going up with slabs at the top, slabs at the bottom to make it finish off nicely. I mean, it's really simple. You don't need to complicate it any more than that. But of course, these roofs are very simple. But we'll be going on to later some things you can do to spice up these simple roof designs. So then we have a slightly more interesting one, which is basically a slight curved roof at the top. So this is by using the same technique we'll use in this one, which is by going up by 2 at the start, but then we sort of round it off when we get near the top. If you have a larger scale build, you'll want to have this continuing going up a bit more and then it rounding off. You don't want it being exactly like this. So basically just use what I've put down here as a sort of replica of what you could do if it was this scale. But your build is obviously going to be a bit bigger because you can only fit one space inside here. So that's not that useful. Now make sure you actually use trapdoors in your builds, especially if you're doing curved sections of roof or that sort of thing, because trapdoors are a lifesaver in building, and if you don't learn to use them, you really won't progress well in sort of being better at building. Because really, if you ask anyone, trapdoors are one of the best additions to Minecraft ever, because this really improves the amount of building we can do. Now the final one is very pointy. It's basically 2 blocks up each block, and it's by doing stair, block, stair, block, stair. Then we have a slab at the top to nicely finish it off. If we did this, it would look a bit weird, wouldn't it? It's the same thing with trying to build a triangle in Minecraft and having too much of a point like this, because it just doesn't look right if we're building a triangle like that, because that's just pointing out too much. We have to do it like that to make it look right, if you know what I mean. So that's what we're doing with that, because it looks just as pointy as it would usually be, but if we did that, it would look slightly weird. So those are the 4 main roof designs you can choose from. Of course, there are some more complicated things, especially if you're going around corners, and I hope you can work that out yourself, because I'm not going to be covering it in this tutorial. I'm mostly going to be showing you how to make these better. So there are some things we can do which are right over here. Now I've done an example where basically I've decided not to use dark oak for the roof, just so I can use dark oak as a sort of contrast. So what I've done here is, you see where these pillars are? We've expanded them up and made them go over and atop like that. And this is one I often use, though quite often I don't have this bit sticking out. Quite often I'll have the pillars going at the same level as where the roof starts, so this looks slightly better than it does now, but this is just an example of what you can do. So then what you can have is you can have a sort of large log going across the top, and I like to cover this with trapdoors because it makes it look a bit more interesting, a texture, and really makes it look a bit more rounded as well, which makes it look quite nice. So with this, I suggest having a more contrasting colour of roof, because really if you're going to just have dark oak, spruce, you really can't change it to spruce because it'll mix in with the wall, and you can't change it to dark oak because it will not contrast with this. So I suggest mangrove works really nicely if you want to do this, or you could do something like oak or birch, maybe not birch, but you get what I mean. This is like, I mean, I can't easily explain this as well as I could with some of these, so if you want to, you can just pause the video and copy the design here and work it out then for a larger scale build. Here is the second idea of how you can make your roofs a bit better. You can have a sort of border around the outside and down the middle, and this is something I do a bit more often than this, I have to say, because I think it works a lot better. So what am I doing here? Basically we have the classic roof and where it is. and then we get rid of each of the sides and make this go up 1 block, and then have it go around here, and we're basically trying to hide as much, like we can't have the mangrove like going over this side at all. We have to have this in the way. Otherwise it doesn't work. If we just had that and then had the mangrove roof there, it wouldn't look right. And then again, we also have the thing down the middle, which works really nicely. And of course, to finish off these pillars, because these are sort of going, like if we got rid of that, you'd be able to see it stops weirdly there, or we can just put that and a trapdoor. Yes, trapdoors again, because they're just so useful as blocks. So I'll now show you the addition you can put onto your build, which is by having a dormer window. And this is really, really useful, because I don't understand why more people don't do this, because this is the perfect way to add a bit of depth and more interior to your build, so you can put more stuff in your house. So, you gradually slope down from the top here, and then you sort of build out a sort of 3x3 area, almost. So sort of from here, you've got a 3x3. And what you can then do is put glass in here, not glass blocks, you want glass pane, because don't use glass blocks unless you're doing if you actually know how to use them properly, because you don't want a flat surface here, you want this going inside. What you can then have is a sort of curve like that, using some trapdoors and slab like that, and that makes a nice shape for it, and then you can always put one on the other side. It's nice to have a bit of symmetry, but then again, asymmetry is also really, really useful in builds if you want to highlight certain features of the build. So that is all this tutorial showed, so I hope it was very useful to you. Just remember to try and make your roofs a bit more interesting, as they're one of the biggest things that people notice about people's builds. I haven't shown stuff like texturing or other things like gradients in here because I've done them in other tutorials, and also I'm just showing more of the structured design of a roof. You can always find the other videos in the playlist of the Minecraft Building Basics series, and if you have a tutorial you'd like me to do on the sort of theme of basic building technique, then you can tell me in the comments down below, as I'll be sure to do it next week if I haven't got one planned already. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, as will really help me out, and thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.